Hi everyone, Dave here. I hope you're having a wonderful day. I wanted to share with you a wonderful testimony, a wonderful story. If you are a dog lover, an animal lover, if you love encouraging stories, if you love miracles and just the power of God's grace, you're gonna love this awesome story, this testimony. As many of you know, about 8 months ago, Kim and we almost lost our little dog, Draco. He got very sick, and he almost died. We thought we were going to lose him. We literally thought that was the end. We took him into the vet, and by the grace of God, he's healed, and he's 100%. He's doing wonderful today. He's literally sitting here beside me. He never leaves my side. He's always with me. So I've been meaning to talk about this for quite some time. And so today is the day that I'm going to share it with you. And I hope it encourages you. I hope it can help you. And so basically it started off about 8 months ago. And it really, the meat of this starts in Uganda. So on the way back from Uganda, we'd been traveling about a day and a half coming home. We'd just been serving in the field for about a week, just seeing God move in crazy ways and mighty ways. And we were ready and excited to get home. So on the last connection, I believe it was from Atlanta to Orlando, we're going through the security line, and me and a few of the ladies on the team were talking about how awesome it was going to be to get home and to see our dogs, and so a little thing that I like to say, a little saying that I have, and just to remind me of that dogs are a blessing to us, is as I say, and I said this to them as we were talking, I said, dog spelled backwards is God. And I believe dogs are God's reminder to us to show us just how our dogs run to us. That's how we should run to him. And if you think about it, your dogs, when you come home, they just run to you, and they're so excited to see you. They trust you. They just run to you, tail wagging, just happy to see you. And that's how we should run to God. And so it just reminds me that. So when I kind of said that little comment, my friend Angela was like, "Oh, that's so good. I never really thought of it that way." And I'm not kidding, you guys. This is crazy. The team will testify to this. It had to have been almost, as soon as the words left my mouth, in a few seconds, Angela starts screaming, and she says, look, her shirt. Look at her shirt. And I'm like, what's going on? And I'm like, did something happen? Because we were there on the way to Uganda. We had an episode with a man that had a seizure, and we prayed over him, and help came. So when she started screaming, it really scared me again. And I'm like, what's going on? But literally, she was just so excited. She saw a girl walking with a shirt. And she goes, when she comes around, you got to look at her shirt. She comes back around, and I look at her shirt, and it's literally a shirt where it's a dog reaching up to heaven, and the hand of the Lord reaching down to this dog. And I was just like, whoo, boy. Talk about feeling the Holy Ghost. I was like, wow, Lord, that's good. I've never even seen a shirt like that. But I say this all the time, and I think about it all the time. And anyway, it's such a cool reminder that God was with us every single step of the way. He brought us there, and he was bringing us home. And I had no idea, though, the prophetic implications of that moment. And this is really where it gets started. So I get home, and Kim had shared with me that while I was gone, Draco, she was walking the dogs out the pond, and while they were walking, Draco kind of yelped and cried out, and then he started kind of limping and had his leg raised up. And she's like, oh man, that was weird. And anyway, a couple of A couple of days later, I guess he couldn't really walk on it. It swelled up. So she took him to the vet. And basically, they said they saw 2 little puncture marks on his paw and said that it looked like a snake bite. Don't know how venomous, if it was like venomous or slightly venomous, but basically they said they gave him some medication for it, and they gave him a rabies vaccine and sent him home. And actually he started doing well. He started doing a lot better. He could walk on it, and he was recovering just fine. And I got home, and he was totally fine. She told me about this, and I was like, wow, that's crazy. I'm glad he's okay, you know. Well, it wasn't must have been about a week or so, not even a week. He started acting really weird. He started getting weak, getting anemic. It's not right. He wouldn't eat. And so I said, well, maybe we need to take him into the vet. So I put down some food one morning, and he literally he turned his head and looked at the front door. And I said, well, I guess it's time. So I took him to the vet, and I'm just going to read you these text messages just to kind of give you what was going on in that moment at that time. So I said, I sent this to our team to pray for. I said, I want to ask you guys to pray for Draco. He is a very sick little dog. We went to the vet today, anemic and wouldn't eat. He just ate and is doing better. He's no pain. He's in no pain and resting comfortably, but we have to keep watch on him. He has a big lump in his lymph node, and we are waiting for some results back from the lab to come in next week. About a $1,400 bill today for all the tests and blood work. My heart is very sad just thinking about this, but we are hoping and praying for the best. I know you guys love him, so please send a prayer up for our little buddy. So that's kind of the situation. So about 4 days later, we get him home, and over the next 4 days, he really deteriorates. Nothing is helping. He gets weaker. He's getting weaker. He's getting weaker. We can literally see the life leaving his body. I thought that he had cancer, to be honest. We hadn't got the results back. They lanced his lymph node or whatever because he had 2. They were inflamed. They were huge. And Casey had actually found them months before. Now that once we thought about it, and I should have took him in then. But anyway, didn't. And so I thought, well, he has cancer. We had another dog, Pepper, that we lost him to cancer. And he just had the symptoms of that. And I was like, man. So anyway, I took him back in. It was about 4 days later, Monday morning. Kim and I thought, this is the end. It was just a horrible 4 days. We were so sad, crying and praying. And this is the next text message that I sent the team to pray for. I said, after 4 sleepless nights, many tears and prayers, 1 week ago today, Kim and I were grieving that it was the end for Draco. We drove him to the vet, ready to say goodbye. He had 0 platelets, 0 red blood cells. He had 1 shot at a miracle. 3 bags of blood, steroids, and a dramatic change in diet. The swollen lymph node is gone. His black diarrhea of death has transformed into a healthy-looking poop. Sorry to be so graphic, but it was disgusting. Anyway, platelets are normal. Red blood cells are up to 28%, and his energy and sweet spirit have returned. I honestly believe that lady with the shirt of the dog reaching up to God was his way of telling me not to give up on Draco and trust God to heal him. I don't know how else to explain it, this other than it's a miracle turnaround. Thank you all for your prayers. I am in awe of the glory of God right now. Glory, glory. So Jeremiah 32:27 says, I am the Lord, the God of all mankind. Is anything too hard for me? So anyway, this was very emotional. We thought we'd lost him, but 3 bags of blood and a $4,000 bill. And, I want to talk about those 4 days of process and what I was going through. And You know, Draco has this spirit about him, how he always wants to be in my presence, is very loving, and that's where I get that saying from. And when I started my walk with the Lord, seeking the Lord, Draco was kind of like, that's when he came into our life, and it really helped comfort me. It really kind of it helped posture my heart towards the Lord. So to see him sick and losing him, you know, it was this kind of reality. But it kind of also showed me, and when I was praying to the Lord, I said, you know, is it sinful to even be this upset about an animal? Because it just seemed like we just got back from Uganda, and when you go to these other countries, dogs, you know, they aren't treated like they are here. You know, you wouldn't dare, you know, give a dog some food. You know, like Uganda, there's dogs, strays. You wouldn't be giving them food when there are children literally there starving. You know, you just wouldn't. And so it's a whole different mindset here, you know. And, you know, dogs get treated better than, you know, children in other countries. So it's a reality. So, you know, I kind of thinking about this, is this sinful? And anyway, in my prayer, I can just sense him dying. And I said, Lord, you get the glory. You get all the glory. But I said, if there's any way you can, I know something's wrong with him. It just doesn't make sense. What is it? Will you just give me wisdom and show me what's wrong with him and just heal him, Lord, and I will give you the glory. Like, you already get the glory. I'm thankful for the 5 years. But, man, if there's anything you can do that just shines a light on what's wrong with him, then we can make this a testimony. And that was my prayer. That's what I prayed. And in that process, the Lord led me to, I started looking up, because they said either he had autoimmune or cancer. So I looked up autoimmune for dogs. And anyway, it opened up this whole thing of what causes autoimmune conditions, not only in dogs, but in humans. And this really brought in some personal revelation of, you know, that happened to do with close friends and family. And I had never thought that it would affect dogs. And I found this lady on YouTube in foreign countries that for 10 years has talked about this. And the things that we feed our dogs, the thing that they consume literally kills them, gives them autoimmune conditions. And they develop a condition called leaky gut syndrome, where the food causes microscopic holes in the stomach lining, and they basically leak toxins into the body, which causes all kinds of other conditions. So I realized I had to change this diet, and what I did was I went to bone broth, I went to oil, like all natural, antibiotic-free chicken, virgin olive oil, just all natural. And it was just a few days, his lymph nodes started to, literally in 2 days, it had been there for months. Draco, when I changed his diet and I followed this little regimen, he used to look like, if you've ever seen him, he used to look like a loaf of bread. I mean, he was built, everyone used to laugh because he had a little head and this gigantic body. And it just was crazy. So if you look at him now, he's slender. He looks like a normal looking dog. He's still got a little head, but he's not bloated. He's not, you can just tell that, you know, his inside, his gut was just so unhealthy. And now he's so much better. And it took those lymph nodes inflaming were just a side effect of that. So anyway, that's what happened. So God's wisdom, just finding that truth, the blood transfusion literally saved his life. And it took about 3-4 months for his blood work to even get normal. And I hand fed him and nurtured him and prayer. And he's doing wonderful. So, you know, this might be shine a light on how you should feed your dogs, what you should let them consume. And, you know, I told the Lord we would make this, give him all the glory, and make a testimony and video about this. But here's the thing. Every time I was going to share a video about him, somebody close to me in my family somebody, a family, a friend, something would happen with their dog. And Draco's all, he's better, I'm ready to do this video. Courtney and Justin's dog Mooney eats a mushroom in the backyard or something and goes into almost full kidney failure. I had to take her to the ER, almost died. So I thought, well, maybe we'll hold off there. Mooney recovers, we're all ready to go. Then Lorna Key's cat disappears, runs off. It's missing for 21 days. So I'm like, well, maybe this isn't the time. Cat returns home. Cat comes home after 21 days. So I'm ready, I'm like, oh, this is awesome. God's still writing this story. He's still revealing, his glory. This is crazy, So like all this wisdom is starting to flow. I'm starting to write things down. I'm ready to do a video. Guess what happens? Casey and Tyler's dog, River, eats something in Tallahassee, like a piece of bark or something, gets this major blockage, starts throwing up. They have to go in, and she has to go to the ER, and I forget how they fix. I don't know if she had some kind of surgery or something, but anyway, I think it just passed through finally. I'm not sure, but like, it was a dangerous situation. Then I'm like, okay, awesome. I'm ready to do the video. Kim's good friend, our good friend, Dina and Dennis's dog Echo, passed away. And I was like, oh, maybe not a time to do one. And anyway, she had a wonderful story how their dog passed and they end up finding another dog. And I'll share all these stories later. And actually also my friend RJ, I was ready to do it. Literally the day I was gonna do the first video, he texted me about his dog, Maggie May, that had mouth cancer and was going in for surgery, and if we could pray for her. And I was just like, every time, just boom, boom. These are close people that I've just do life with, and their family and friends. So it was really, really crazy. So finally, here we are, giving you this whole story, giving you this whole wonderful testimony of Draco and how God healed him, and basically what I'm going to be doing the next. The next videos won't be as long as this, but I believe I have a message for each and every one, God's wisdom through His Scripture, to show us how to run to God. Dog spelled backwards is God. And it's His reminder for us to run to Him just like our dogs run to us. And my question to you is, are you running to God? Are you running from God? Are you running to God? And how do we do that? Well, my message today is simple. To run, we have to walk. We have to learn to walk. We have to take the first step of faith and trust in Him. So hopefully this story kind of gives you a little bit of some faith. The faith that maybe life has been beating you down lately, and maybe you're questioning if God's hearing you, or maybe you're not even asking Him to intervene in your life. I submit to you, call out to Him. He will begin to work in your life. Have faith. With faith, all is possible. And I learned a lot in this whole process, so much. So I can't wait to share with you just more of the stories, more how this really pans out. Sorry it went on and on. I tried to make this 4 or 5 minutes, but it's just impossible to get it all in one video. And so I hope it encourages you. Be blessed, be encouraged, run to God.